can alternate. I don't know, but really enjoying it. We're really happy to see more people in the room. We're really excited. So how this goes is that we don't care where you're joining us from. You could be joining us from Timbuktu. It's all good. What we care about is who are you, what business are you in, and who do you serve? Okay, so because a lot of the times we say that my business is a painting.
Painting nails, painting walls, painting murals, painting ceramics, painting cars.
Do you see where we're going with this? See where we're going with this?
So let us know where you are in your business life, what you do, who you help. And the reason why we do this is because your customer's in the room, guys. Literally, your customer is in the room. Because
right now,
I know all of us, we want to serve middle-class Black women in urban areas.
The busy working woman.
You're all here. Everybody here identifies as a busy working woman in urban areas.
All of us.
All of us.
All of us.
Right? Some of us are busy moms, some of us are not, some of us are corporate girlies, some of us are stressed, but we know all your customer avatars are busy women working in urban areas. Black women living in urban areas. You're here. You're all here.
Even though you are doing waxing in Pretoria.
You're looking for busy women.
Busy working women.
So let us know what you. This is very frustrating. Why don't you have an auto plug-in?
I'll do it for this time.
Letting people into the meeting, guys, because I usually just have like one button that I press and then it auto does it. Kapanos needs to.
It says admit all.
Wait, no, I get to admit all, but every time someone joins, you have to admit all.
No.
Yes.
No.
Okay, we'll see. Mwaki Payroll Services based in Midrand, and I love paying client employees. Happy payday. Mwaki.
Because it's not your money,
Mwaki. It's not your money.
It's because you pay people with other people's money.
Mwaki is like, I love that I get to distribute equal and fair distribution of the wealth, of the economy.
Everybody got paid on time. Like, yes.
We love it. We love it. No, we love
and
it.
when you pay people, you know what happens? Money comes into your account. That is a beautiful job to have. That's a beautiful business. Guys, even if you are thinking about getting into business, you're a corporate girly right now, you're like, I want to be a business baddie.
Or you don't want to be a business baddie, but you just want a side hustle. You just want to make an extra 5,000 there on the side just to keep your life
your
going.
Grooming budget.
Because these corporate bosses, they don't pay us enough.
So once I had a discovery call with a lady years ago. She actually worked at Discovery. It's hilarious. And she had a side specifically pay for her daughter's school education, just for school fees. That's all she wanted was, I just need extra money to pay for my daughter's school fees because I wanted to do ballet. I wanted to do swimming. I wanted to do all of these things. And I don't want it to come out of my salary. So I'm going to have this side business that I know that everything that comes from there goes to my education. Right? Okay, let's see if it's going to do it again. But anywho's in the building. Nyaki calls her our legal ego. She's ours. And she is one of, I don't know if we can call a person a club, she is alumni, but she's part of our agency. And we started working with her last year. And Zama Mkosi has had years of experience, has been around the block, has worked with some of the biggest brands that we know in the media and business space. She has been speaking about funding readiness for SMMEs for a number of years, has been training them through corporate, through ESD, through private lessons as well, and also has coaching as well as services that she gives to people. So whether you are an SMME looking to get ready for funding, or if you are a small to medium business thinking, am I compliant? Is doomsday around the corner and I don't know? When I turn the corner and then something happens, jiggy jiggy, you must remember that Zama told me. Ma'am, you told me, and did I listen? Right? We do not want to say, we don't want you to leave here and say, guys, I was part of the club for I don't know how many years and they didn't tell me. And they said they are for us women. When Zama is in the room. She's not in the room, she's in the building. We're actually like, I'm pretty sure we're less than a kilometer away from each other right now. which is hilarious. We could have actually all been in the same room. So we're about to hand it over. Let us know. We actually want at least 5 people to tell us what it is that you do and who you serve, who you do it for, right? So I am in construction. I specifically build 2 bedrooms in the township areas. We have a lady who's in property. She does property management specifically in the Cape Town townships, actually. That was Cape Town, right? Yes. So she does redevelopment in the township areas where people are now upgrading the homes that they have. She's very specific, right? We want you to be that specific because we want to know. The nice thing is it gives Zama examples that she can work with. We do not want to be the only example that Zama has because we're not trying to be fried today. Okay? So at least 5 and then we can get started. About the boards on Google. Okay, cool. So Maxine, hi everyone. I am a public servant working with small-scale farmers and other SMMEs in the aquaculture sector, focusing on business development and marketing, including technological support. Looking to start my side hustle, happy to learn and network. What you do in the public sector is also can be an amazing private, like you can 100% sell that in the private sector. Because there are a lot of farmers who don't want to go through government to have that done. I know that because my mom used to work for the department, that one specifically. Based so this is Moahi, we know does payroll, right? You must, I know when I'm Moahi because now we're working in finance with payroll and finance, where finance and HR meet. There's a lot of compliance there. Mahal is from I Cook Food and Events. I know you. We sell delicious ready meals made of natural ingredients with no added sugar or preservatives. We deliver across Gauteng as well as Cape Town and Durban. Love it. We sell to busy working moms with a smile.
They're here. They're here. All of them. They're here. Admit people.
And parents. And where are we? And parents who, what are we saying? And parents with kids in varsity. And then number 3, they have adult kids with elderly parents. And number 4, anyone who can't or chose not to cook when yet want healthy home-style meals. It might be me, right? I might just order from you. That sounds like me. It sounds like I love cooking, but sis ain't got time. Sis doesn't want to be in the kitchen today. No. Okay. Only thing I want to know, that means that you do pre-cooked, or do I have to cook, or is it frozen? That's the only thing. That's the only part. Is it delivered on the day? Is it batch? Is it meal prep? Is it like a box? Is it like we cook? You cook?
You cook.
You cook. Where you cook. We need 2 more and then we can get started. And then Keleto, I'm in HR consulting space. I help small business owners stay out of CCMA.
Very good. Very good. I can hear this one. She learned.
And that's a shorter sentence. I love that for you. And then Mahal is saying that it is pre-cooked and delivered frozen in a batch. Love it. And then Pimpero. Hi, Dr. Pimpero. I'm working on a course to help foreign graduate doctors prepare for their practical exam, which is a requirement when registering for Southern African Medical Board.
Very good, very good, very good, very good.
And that's a desperate.
You know what I love about the girls, right? Is that we're recognizing some of these girls, the names, because
the girlies,
they come in with one thing, and then we teach them how, and then like, they realize I can do something else.
Yes.
Because of capacity, right? It's about teaching you how to stretch yourselves outside of what you come in wanting to sell soaps, and you're just like, no, wait, actually,
I could do so much.
I can do so much more. I can do something different.
I can earn way more with less time if I just do the upfront work.
But what we love about this conversation with Zama specifically, right, is that in every decision that you make, if you are jiggy not compliant, and we say compliant because we use that word, right, is that you will find yourself being sued,
having things taken from
taken. And it's like, for me, I've been sending her some content that I've been consuming around this very topic, and it's not specifically big companies. So I'll give you a real example. So very recently, and it's currently in the, maybe I'm taking Zama's thingy, but maybe not, but there's a company that's doing like fashion design.
Yes.
that their designs, their campaign was taken over by like another brand, but not very big brand. I think the Strumman people, whatever, they were taken to court because of the name of the way that they named their thing. So for example, we don't have a patent on lunch and learn. And so anybody can come and say, or a copyright on lunch and learn. So anybody can come and say lunch and learn.
It's happened to us.
And profit on lunch and learn.
So it's happened to us. So what had happened was we had something, Yaki, where you actually, the first product that you came in person, employee to entrepreneur.
Yes.
And then American went and did what?
Patented.
And then they sent me a what?
Cease and desist.
And then me and the business partner at the time looked at it and said, do we have the energy to fight this? Because we can clearly show that we did this way before they did. And we said, we don't. So we left that one. And we could have gone, because we had people who bought from the product, our name on it. We actually had a case. It was, do you have the energy to go and fight it? Right? But the same thing can happen now. We actually own something called Micro Workday. And there's a big American coach who wanted it from us. And we just said no. So
it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be a big thing, but because the name Micro Workday is just like, what is that? That makes a lot of sense. So they wanted it from us. We own the domain. They wanted to buy it. We have the product. We've sold it before. So they ended up calling it something else. I can't remember what they ended up calling it.
We need to copyright our framework.
And our product, I keep thinking to myself that please don't say what it is called, because we're not compliant with that one yet. Don't own it yet.
Okay. All right. Well, Zama, we are ready for you.
We need you, Zama, all of us. Okay, just the last one. We're going to pin Zama now. I'm just going to speed read through the rest of them. HR services, and then Tobeka saying business analyst, and I'm working on Microsoft Business Analysis Professional Certificate with an intention to start a consulting business on how you can improve your workflow digitally. Which workflow? What workflow?
Kilitza says, I came in offering HR services, and now I'm also offering gardening services. All to systems. All thanks to systems. It's easy, guys.
Yeah.
It's easy.
We love it for you. You know what we love? Our favorite day is when we get like a breakup. I'm leaving. Which, do you know what that means? Because that a good teacher is one way a student can leave. So we want you to leave. We want you to say, guys, I've gotten everything that I can from you. I'm doing well. Thank you and goodbye.
I'm gonna come back again. I'm gonna come back when I've got more money.
When I've got more money or whatever it is, thank you and goodbye. Like, because that means that we did our job. It's sad, but it means we did our job. Okay, Zama, we are now handing it over to you. We're actually gonna eat, guys. If you've got your food, yeah, you finished your food because she loves food. Don't let her play you. Zama's got water. You must unmute, Zama.
Zama, you must unmute on your camera, on your computer.
Don't tell me that because I'm already sharing. Okay, let me go back.
Or unmute your computer.
Unmute your phone.
Unmute your phone and mute the sound from your computer. And then unmute your mic on your phone.
Like so.
Perfect.
Yes. Yes. No.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me properly?
We can hear you loud and clear.
No. Wait.
You can unmute. On your phone screen.
No, but maybe unmute yourselves, Nyagi, so that I can be sure that I can hear.
Not talking.
Don't unmute, and I want to hear you.
We're unmute.
Huh?
We are unmuted. We're not muted.
Okay. You can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Okay.
I'm gonna get out of here. I actually need.
Why am I doing this? Okay. All right. Let us just keep it moving, and trust that you can hear. And is there? Yes, we're back to sharing the whole screen. Let's hide this and let us get cracking. Thank you so much for that awesome introduction, and the vibe alone is just amazing, super amazing. The energy is out there. You know, as entrepreneurs, it gets very lonely when you are by yourself and you are, especially on paydays like these. Oh, it gets so lonely unless your your business is to make payments to other people. But otherwise, most of the time, where paydays are a very lonely day for for us entrepreneurs. But in any event, super excited to be sharing, to be spending the afternoon with you. And here's a little bit about me. I know that they've already set the scene. Nyaki and Kopano have already outlined a bit about me, but yeah, I've been around for a number of years, just a few years, doing all these various things and a lot more other things. We can connect on the socials, Instagram and LinkedIn. Yeah, you'll find out more there about what else I do. But one of the businesses that I have is a business where, you know, in fact, in all the ventures that I have, it's all about supporting business growth, enabling business owners to be legally, you know, strong, to have use legalities to protect and to grow their business. And I do legal education. I do trademark registration and searches. I do contract drafting and reviewing. That is one of the things that I do. And I've been part of CSI in order, obviously, to try and put a system to all of this so that, you know, we can still offer these services and we can be sitting by the pool sipping on a virgin cocktail. So that's the vision. And
Yes.
so, just for the next few minutes, I know legalities can be a whole lot, especially for a Friday afternoon. I'm just going to try and really spill this legal tea in a very, you know, simplified way, in a very conversational way. And we're going to, you know, have time at the end where we can engage. But the whole purpose of my just a short presentation this afternoon is just to help you understand the why when it comes to why legalities are important when, you know, you are a business owner, particularly if you are interested in any kind of funding. So why legalities are important. I'm going to take you through some red flags as we go through the presentation. Red flags that often scare funders off when they're looking at our businesses to fund. We'll touch a bit on corporate governance, the key contracts, why they're important, and some important clauses, just high level. Don't worry, I will not take you into a contract law class on a Friday afternoon, but I will still just share the information with you in a way that makes business sense. Then we're going to touch on how to build a funder ready kind of file, you know, for yourself, in case, you know, you have to make a submission or you have got a funder coming to look at your business for potential funding. So quickly, why does this all matter? Oftentimes when we're looking for funding, we tend to think that, no, as long as my financials are in order, I'm good to go. But I'm here to tell you this afternoon that good financials alone, it's not enough. Neglecting legalities can really, you'll find yourself compromised in terms of opportunities that you can take advantage of, business opportunities, funding opportunities, you know, expansion opportunities. You will find that you may have a great product, you may have great financials, but because you are falling short when it comes to your legalities, you find that you end up exposing yourself to personal liability, to operational disruptions, reputational harm, some of which I think we spoke a bit about earlier, but also, you know, funding delays or funding rejections simply because you really did not pay particular attention to your legalities. I want you to think about, when you think about funding, look, you know, and the legalities from your business. Don't look so much at from your point of view, but put yourself in the shoes of a funder for a moment. And that's really what I want you to take out from this afternoon. Some of the things that I'll be sharing with you, they're informed by a research that I did, because I do a lot of work with small businesses in relation to getting them legally funding ready. And so I also work with I'm a corporates that and funding agencies. And so I did a survey with the funding agencies to look at what their requirements are, so that out of that research, it then informs the kind of work that I do, and the kind of coaching that I do for businesses, and the advisory services that I offer, and input into the courses that I have for small businesses. But when you look at the mind of a funder, the funder is not just looking at, yes, financial risks are a thing, but they are looking beyond that. They're looking at market risks. They're looking at management and operational risks. They are looking at legal and regulatory compliance risks. Just you being aware of that, it's already going to shift your thinking, to look at what you need to do from these key categories. So to say, once you've done X, Y, Z, with your finances, but what could they be interested when it comes to market risk? What could they be interested in about management and operational? What are the current risks in my business with regards to operations? What do I need to do in order to cover that? And same with regulatory and so on. So I'm saying this part really to just emphasize to you that more than anything, don't allow yourself to be overwhelmed by legalities. Sometimes just thinking about it logically, you can already find yourself that you already have the kind of mindset in order to do what you need to do. Because being legal ready, for funders, it says you are stable, it says you are professional, and it says that you are a lower risk, because funders are all about managing risks at the end of the day, and they want to see that you as an entity, you also think about these risks, and you need to show them what you have done in order to address these risks. And we will cover some of the things as we go along. I took this quote from the research that I've done, exactly as is, from a funder, when I was asking for them what are the things that they look out for. This is what they said. Corporate governance issues are a major roadblock when they want to fund businesses. Tax non-compliance and litigation, for example, also make it incredibly difficult, for them to justify making an investment into a business. So this statement in itself is quite loaded, and we'll unpack some of the things we want to talk into them. I spoke about this legal readiness being a game changer. It says, it shows stability, professionalism, and managed risks. So now I'm just going to cover, the top 6 legal traps for funding, for SMEs. I'm not going to go, there's a whole lot that we could go to, but for the time that we have this afternoon on payday, we're just going to cover the top 6. I'll maybe delve in a bit deeper on some of them. The first trap is weak corporate foundations. What do I mean by this? It means just the basic constitutional documents. Yes, hopefully everyone knows that you've got to be registered. At least, I hope, at the very least, we all understand that. Of course, unless you have some unique circumstances that you still operate as an individual and so on, I would suggest you get, proper legal advice as to whether, that is optimal in the long run. But where most small businesses fall short when it comes to constitutional documents is when it relates to partnership agreements. Partnership agreements, founders agreements, shareholders agreements. There is more than one party, you and your cousin, and you are just excited. You're going to change the world through this gardening service. And let's just go on. But now, the business is growing. Now you are plugged into CSI system, and you are attracting homes from everywhere. Now you need machinery, you need equipment to expand, and you have got, small business funding, wanting to fund you. And now you find that, oops, we have never quite set out what are the foundations of our partnership between my friend and I when we are starting this business. And it is important. And why it's important for funders is because funders need clarity around ownership. Who owns what? Who owns? Don't just take for granted that if we both started, then it's obvious. It's 50-50. Hello? Not, it may not necessarily be, because ownership goes also with contribution. So sometimes you may want to think about, okay, this other party is going to own more because perhaps they are operational. Maybe the other party is still in a 9 to 5 and they are just putting in the money, but they are not actually operational. What is that going to look like? You need to make sure that it is all put down, because funders will want to know if there are silent partners in the business that can silently rock up later and want, certain rights and certain protection, but all of those is not written down. Because decision making, who has the authority to make what decisions? It is important for funders, because they don't want to put money into a business only to find out that some silent partner sitting in Dubai or whoever actually is the one that has authority to just change the course of the business into a completely different direction. So make sure that you look into these, your corporate foundations are on solid grounds. Keep records of these big decisions that are being made in the business, make proper resolutions by the directors, make sure that you've got all of those things at least in place to avoid the first trap. Now, the second trap, we may spend a bit of time here. Trap number 2 relates to business agreements. And this trap relates to, weak agreements, absent agreements, incomplete agreements. Most of the time, sometimes an agreement, we started drafting it, but you know what, we got busy, we started getting work, and then we forgot about the paperwork, and we just went on with the business of doing the work. But you find that perhaps you don't even have written down the clear terms and conditions of how you do business. The very service that you offer, how do you actually offer that service? The very HR consulting service that you offer, do you have clear terms and conditions as to how you offer it? This is what you'll do, this is the report you will prepare, this is when you submit it, this is when they need to pay. If they don't pay, what happens? And this and this and that. How long is the contract? Is the contract exclusive? Can you work for other companies in the same industry, and so on? Whatever business you are in, you need this. Otherwise, when a funder wants to put in money, they really need to know, what are you committed to? And if you do not have clear terms and conditions of doing business written down, then a funder will not be able to assess exactly the nature of your business. Employment contract is also one of those contracts that are often left to personal relationships, or to emotions. And if they are not written down, they are red flags for funders, because employees are a risk area for funders. And in there also, one of the things that often come up, especially when businesses are looking for funding and they maybe want to grow or whatever, there are maybe hidden incentives. There was a promise that, no, if we get this deal and spread and go bigger, you are going to get XYZ. Maybe that thing was written somewhere or not written down, and now it starts to impact the business. Funders are wary of such things. Another red flag when it comes to business agreements is that funders are often looking out for is reliance on customers and suppliers. Yes, you may show very good numbers that you've got this big client and you do everything for them and whatever, but maybe you don't even have a written contract, or that contract has expired. or but because you've been doing business with them for so long and they are so good and you've such good relationship with them, you've taken for granted that it will always be there. And it is on that basis that your numbers look so good, but you do not have documentation to back that up. That is something that's a huge red flag for funders, and therefore they can't rely on those numbers if those numbers are not backed up by proper documentation. And even what the content of that documentation is, because the content of that documentation needs to be also show, what rights and obligations do you have? Is the exclusivity clause? What is the payment terms of that clause? Maybe, what are the increases? What are the, at what point can you increase the fees and so on? Funders want to look into all of those details. So make sure that you draft your terms and conditions of doing business. You have all your staff contracts in place, your long-term contracts, supply and customer contracts. You are clear of the terms thereof, and you actually have signed and up-to-date agreements, and be clear around the most critical clauses of each of those, because funders will want to see what are you undertaking to, what guarantees are you giving to people. Once you've offered, whatever, once you've built the property, what undertaking are you giving? What guarantees are you giving? What guarantee are you giving as a construction company, as opposed to maybe what the supplier of whatever product you are putting in those properties? You must be very clear what is your liability and what is the liability of any other supplier that you are using, so that when you are looking for funding, a funder can know what is on you and what is on a third party. Now, trap number 3 relates to neglecting IP issues. This can be as simple as even your own business name, and it starts there. Your own business name is the first asset for your business, and registering it, having a domain, or simply registering it as the name of the company is not actually protecting it in terms of a trademark, because there's a separate registration process for trademark versus registering, the name of the company. You may have the company name and you're making it famous and you are trending on it and blah, blah, blah. Whilst you're doing that, someone goes to CIPC and registers in the trademark register and registers the trademark. Because you've got 1 million followers now and they're all singing this thing, that you've created, you are looking for sponsors and so on. And when you go to the sponsors, they're like, can you please show us proof of ownership of this IP? And you're like, no, but I've got these followers. No, it's not going to be good enough. They would want to see proper certificates in place that show that you do own the IP that you are relying on when you do business. Otherwise, it is a huge risk for yourself as well as the people that you are bringing into the business, because you may get away with it for a while, but the damage down the line, the reputational damage, can actually end up having far greater consequences for you, for future opportunities for funders to then partner with you, or brands to partner with you. Brands will not want to partner with you in future because you are a risk. You expose them to reputational damages, because we've seen how when a big brand is associated with you, when you suddenly have trademark breach questions being raised, they are dragged into the mix. And you can be sure that that will impact the long-term sustainability of your business. So you must always make sure that the issues when it comes to trademarks, brands and funders are becoming now very, very strict around wanting to make sure that that is in place. Don't take it lightly. Licensing agreements, whatever, systems and apps and things that you are doing, don't just in fact, another clip, Nyank, that you sent me was exactly of a guy. You went on and you develop a product and it sells, but at the end of the day, you don't own it, and you do not have a licensing agreement of the patent. You are using somebody else's patent, but you do not have an agreement with them. So maybe because someone owns the patent, they're just sitting with it. You go and develop this very wonderful business model around it. It's all good and well, but if you do not then have a proper licensing agreement or agreement that entitles you to use that system, it doesn't matter what you have built. It is not going to it's just gonna die a sudden death. You remember that clip you sent me? Actually, it was actually about that. Now, the next trap is unresolved litigation and disputes. I think this is it's a straightforward one. Look out for these. It's not to say that, you must not fight for your rights. Oh, my battery's low. It doesn't say that you must not fight, for your rights and so on. Indeed, you must, but you must always make sure that you have got a very clear plan and you've got solid ground for whatever fights that you are having. Sorry, let me just plug.
This is really good, Zama.
It will take us through. Hold on.
Maybe in the comments, while Zama's connecting, maybe just drop in any take-homes, because we're sitting here like, yo.
What is on your to-do list?
What's on your to-do list?
So are you going to unmute me now? Did I mute myself?
No, you're good.
I'm back. I'm fine. But can you hear me? No? Can you? Oh, okay. All right. Great stuff. Okay. All right. Well, number 4, we're going to be moving swiftly. As I said, unresolved litigations is also one of the things that often scare funders off. So, as I said, it's not just the existence of the litigation, but it is also around what are the facts around it, and are you on solid ground? I always suggest that in any agreement that you have, you must have early dispute resolution mechanisms built into that agreement, so that you do not end up having to resolve by way of going through expensive court process in order to resolve something that perhaps you and the people that you are entering into an agreement with, you can find a way of resolving those. But having said that, make sure that the clauses, the early dispute resolution clause that you have, don't just simply say it will be resolved according to the arbitration, what is it, AFSA, Arbitration Foundation of South Africa and whatever. Some of those things are really expensive as well. Don't make it the first port of call. Build in other systems so that you can really resolve without going through expensive route, because you want to clear up disputes before you go and seek any kind of funding. Trap number 5 is weak regulatory and compliance practices. Non-compliance with the policies and the licenses of the business that you are in is critical. I'm sure the colleagues in construction and property management, and even the aquaculture, the lady from aquaculture, even the others, even catering, the compliances. I'm hoping that all of you are on top of what the health and safety and environmental compliances are, because funders would want to make sure that you as a business are clear about those, what they are. You've got policies in place, you've got systems in place, and you are compliant. Otherwise, you can lose out opportunities. I once acted for a client. He had an opportunity to be part of a supplier development program for a big supermarket, and he missed out on it. He was doing baking. He missed out on the opportunity simply because his health and safety was not where it needed to be. So he needed obviously to then have some time to put in certain systems in place so that he can be compliant, and therefore he can access opportunities. So non-compliance with industry as specific licensing and so on can lead you to lose out on opportunities such as funding or any other such opportunities. So look out for those. Lastly, lack of preparedness for legal due diligence. It depends, obviously, what level of funding you are looking for. I used to, in my other life, used to work for a development bank, and as part of the legal team, they would send you, if looking for funding, the funding they used to give was maybe like, obviously in multiple millions, hundreds of millions. There'll be a due diligence team that goes in and does the assessment, and then you make sure that they want to see that you've got clear records in place. Your records are all there. You can easily access all the documentation that they need to see. You can't be scrambling around and say, yeah, no, you think the document is there, but you don't have sight of it and you don't have proper filing system and so on. But having said that, on this, I wanted to just make a note, because one of the trends that we're seeing is funders using AI to assess compliance and to assess the risk before they fund. So you need to make sure that even your records, even whether it's your financial records and so on, are accurate. Because if all those things are not there, the AI is just going to say high risk and chuck you out. You don't even have time to explain yourself. So make sure that your digital footprint can also back up the kind of story that you want to tell about that you are a serious business and that you are a business that is worth being funded and being invested in. So key takeaway, legal readiness equals investment readiness. Avoid these 6 traps to make sure that you are attractive for investment. And lastly but not least, where do you start? Do not be overwhelmed. Where do you start? Firstly, start before you need to. Start before you need to. It's the best time to start. I can say that, because if you are starting when you're already applying for funding and it's closing in 5 days, you can just bet it's going to create a lot of anxiety and a whole lot of things are not going to go the way they should. So start before you need to in order to get your legal house in order. I've got a free download for legal funding readiness. Nyagi is going to kill me because I do not have it in a nice screen. She's shaking her head and like, oh my word, you're going to punch me in the face. It's okay. You're going to put the link. I can see like you're not even laughing. All right, okay, it's not even funny, but
it's coming in the email,
and that is where I will end it. But anyway, the legal funding readiness checklist is an amazing document. You can download it, and it really just tells you where you are. So you must know where you are so that you can know where you need to go. I know I shared a lot of information, but it just simplifies this. It's a quick checklist, and then from there you'll be able to have a clear action plan on where to start, because otherwise, yes, it can get overwhelming, but yeah, I've simplified it and made it easy. Yeah, you do not get trapped in not being able to access funding opportunities. I thank you very much. That is me.
Can you hear us?
Wait, she's gonna switch over now.
She's gonna switch over. Okay, hold on. Okay. So
Zama, let us know when you can hear us.
Let us know as soon as you can hear us. Can you hear us?
Beautiful.
Absolutely amazing. You know what I was thinking about, Zama? The reason why we're talking the whole time, every time you name someone, we're like, okay. Like every time you say something, we're like, okay, what's the deal with that? Okay, cool. And then we listen and we're like, okay, what's the deal with this?
We're in trouble.
We're literally just like, we're halfway there.
We're in trouble.
We're halfway there.
We are. I don't know how halfway we are, but if let us know, guys, out of Zama, what Zama's speaking about, how much trouble are you in your business? And so the thing is, right, is that the focus isn't, Zama obviously leans a lot into funding. But
in existence for everyone, yes.
And it doesn't necessarily only apply to funding, right? Because whether you're funding, whether you are trying to sell, so our big thing is, you guys know, we're trying to exit. Like our plan is to exit. We are building a business that we are going to sell, right? And so
Everything we
regardless
do.
of where you are, you kind of need to think of like, you know, in
Where
5
you
years'
going?
time when we are selling, what does that look like, right? So funding, we may not need funding. We may need funding. You may not need funding. You may need funding. But what are you thinking about your children, right? How do your children fit into how they're going to access your money when you, if you were to die today and your business has got R1 million in the bank account, what happens to that money? Is the state just going to absorb it because, well,
there's no one
you
here.
don't have a document, a piece of paper? That's what it's
and
like.
And then your estranged father comes and takes the money.
The baby's daddy, who you haven't spoken to since you told him you were pregnant, comes and says, well, you know, cease and desist, there's money that needs to be taken. Like, things like that happen, right? And so like that's the conversation. Zama, we were also chuckling because they're definitely going to get the legal checklist.
We're way ahead of you.
We are way ahead of you.
We were checking the email and we're just like, it's in there.
The email,
we've got you.
The email that's going out today. So we usually, for everybody who doesn't know, we usually do an email at the end of the day. So our weekly Friday mail that you guys get, Sebenza girl, she's here. So Zama's legal checklist is
right.
We're already there.
So I'm not in so much trouble.
You are not in that much trouble. No,
you gotta love organized girlies.
Yes, we invite you guys so that you can plug yourself so that people get to know what it's about. So whether you're starting out, right, or you are at a place where you are earning 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 for your business, it feels like it's an important conversation to have. And it's a conversation that I know personally I shy away from. I shy away from taxes, I shy away from the law. And honestly, they say like, don't lie to three people: your lawyer, your accountant, and your doctor. And those are the three people that I lie to. Like, ask me when I'm sick.
Those are the three people you avoid.
I avoid those people. Like, I'm just like, I don't want to talk to my tax person. I don't want to speak to a lawyer. I'm not going to a doctor. And like, those are the three people fundamentally, and your past, I suppose, that are keeping you alive and out of jail and safe. And so like, we do need to be adults. I think it's a very adult thing to be like, okay, my lawyer. But what I love about Zama, and if you're ever going to get into a consultation with her, is that she doesn't make it feel overwhelming, right? Have you ever spoken to anybody who's a lawyer? These lawyer types, they make it seem like it's this complicated thing.
They also want you to know that they're smart.
That you haven't studied and, you know, you are so stupid. How can you ask a question like this? But Zama really, really takes it. Who's that? Who's that?
Prima facie.
Yes, domicilium, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, blah, yes. I put it to you. Put it here within. Oh, yeah. Oh, that. So Pampero, I'm seeing Pampero love. Pampero is a person that should be having a conversation with Zama, right? 50%. Because Pampero, you are number one. You're a foreign national operating in South African territory, in speaking to other foreigers about work in South Africa. In like, there's just
so many things,
right? And the thing is, you don't want what I'm also realizing is like, the things that get taken away, it's usually because of like a document.
Oversight. And it's so
right?
simple.
And it's because this person submitted something and they didn't file it on time, and then someone just comes in, files. We all know the Vuyo. Do you guys know the Vuyo Burvos one? Yes. Vuyo's Burvos. That they did an ad on that, right? And it was an amazing campaign, beautiful ad. But it was just like a South African thing. Oh, Vuyo, such a dreamer. No. The white guy, Chad, went and registered Vuyo's Burvos. Was it Burvos?
I don't know.
Whatever it was, Vuyo's Burvos. And now he owns Vuyo's Burvos. And now the ad is literally advertising his business. Nobody else can use it, even though it's South African. It's like, it's like everybody knows this thing. It's a common thing. Club Cheese, it's a common thing. Everybody knows it.
It happened with Bafana.
And they tried to do it with Rooibos. A number of years ago, there was an American who tried to, like trademark or whatever, Rooibos. And then the South African government was like, no, Rooibos is our thing. The government had to get involved and be like, don't you dare, American. But no, seriously, guys, Nyaki and I always have these, a theme that we've been having is short-term and long-term. Always think, what is the best results that can happen here? And I know you think to yourself, like, guys, all I'm doing is earning 5,000 Rand on the side. Jan, what if it becomes like 500,000 on the side? Because that does happen. Sometimes you start a business and you realize there's need for it. I'll go back to this that over and over again. Over 70% of African female entrepreneurs are in business out of necessity. So you go and register your business at CIPC because necessity, right? Because it's not a necessity yet, it's a nice to have. Then you lose your job and like, let me lean into this business. You lean into the business, it does well, but you're not compliant. You get deregistered because of non-compliance, because you haven't been doing your returns, you haven't said anything to CIPC ever since you registered. So they're just like, this person's dead. So they deregister your business, right? Then the year you earn over $1 million, and then over $1 million again, over $1 million again, and then somebody comes knocking on your door and saying, oh, you have an employee that you're paying more than 9,000 Rand. And then that employee is just like, I want to file my taxes. And you don't have any taxes that you have been filing, because right now you are doing the wrong things. You've been earning over $1 million, paying this person 9,000 Rand, and you're not doing the work you're supposed to be doing. What then happens? Right?
I actually filed wash day box. This happened to me as well. So if you guys don't know, I had a company, Natural Hair Co was the company. I should have filed that, but I couldn't. But the product itself was the wash day box, and because it felt like a product, people started calling their thing wash day box. I was like,
no,
excuse me, no, no, that's my thing. So I own the patent to wash day box. So come for me. I'm waiting for you. I'm gonna advertise.
Somebody's gonna be like, she doesn't do that business anymore. Ne?
I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna sit there until I see you making 20 million. I'm gonna be like, hey, Papa, we are shareholders. I'm a shareholder in our business.
Thank you for using my trademark.
Thank you so much for using. I have the certificate, guys. It comes it's a document that says you own the trademark, and it's gonna auto register every year.
It's still so old school.
It is.
Yeah. But guys, think about the best possible result in your business and plan for that, because it is easier now.
Yeah.
It is easier now to do it now than it is in the future.
And it honestly isn't that expensive.
No.
That's the other thing that I was also like, no, man, I don't need a patent. It's so much money. It really isn't that expensive. It like, if you can think about the potential of some, literally I had people while I was selling the wash day box call their thing wash day box, because it feels like it's a term, right? It's a cell phone. It's not a cell phone. It's a MacBook. It's mine. So that is where we are. And that's where I think you guys need to be as business owners. Think about your things. If you love your things, if you think they're amazing ideas, protect the ideas. And that's what it's about.
And have all of them if you need to. So recording, if you're watching the recording, this is us saying goodbye. Please do make sure that you get that checklist. It's just a couple of minutes. Go through the checklist. And I'm telling you now, it does not hurt to check. Does not hurt at all.
You're going to feel very exposed because you're going to get everything wrong.
We work with so many people who expose us. We work with accountants, speakers, lawyers,
psychologists.
Guys, expose them.
They're all broken.
All right. Thank you so much, Zama.
Thank you so much, Zama. Thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate you. We will see you again next week, Friday, for Lunch and Learn. Remember, the replay is going to be in the community. If you are a member, whether you're premium or a free member, you have access to the live recording. We do this every Friday at 1:00 during lunch. Come eating, even if you haven't eaten. We really, really do appreciate you, Zama, for joining us. We've had an amazing Women's Month. We've had all the amazing speakers, and you'll find all the recordings there. Please, guys, if you do want to reach out, have someone, just do a 5-minute conversation with Zama to say, Zama, I'm not sure. Do I need to? What must happen? And she will direct you from there. Don't shy away from this conversation, guys. It's that thing of like, when they like, this is the sex conversation that we have. When your mom was told, don't shy away. You must have these tough conversations. Are you doing the sex? If you're doing the sex, you must do the things that are going to protect you from the other things that happen when you do the sex. This is it. If you're doing the business, you must do the things that are going to protect you from the things that can happen when you do the business. We love you guys. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Not Kitty joining at at 2.
She came and she left.
Oh,
She's been
I was about
jumping
to say,
in and out.
not Kitty joining when we're leaving.
She's been jumping in and
Oh,
out.
Okay, love you,
Bye, guys. I think I saw Oli on here.
She is, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna send you another link, Oli. I sent it to her.